And here we are on Saturday today at the races to see how many winners Dave Rodman can give us here today. You had a nice one to start things off yesterday, and so I got a little. I was like, oh, here comes Dave.
Couple, nights of video. CC Royal.
Yes.
That really this horse is really going to be a nice horse as it develops, and had a nice exacta, but otherwise that was kind of in and around, a few exacta boxes here and there. But I like today's early pick four play.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I had a good day compared to my buddy Truck Driving Larry, who had $5 to win on a 50-to-1 shot.
Oh, that was brutal.
And as he got into the car crying, driving home, said, I'll be back tomorrow.
Okay. All right. Well, happy to have you, Larry.
50-to-1 shot, got disqualified.
I know.
Yes. Brutal. But if you had that horse yesterday, that would probably have carried over the late pick five, I would assume.
Would have been
But no
great.
carryover in the pick five, a pick six small carryover today, and of course that jackpot super high five in race 6.
As you mentioned, CC Royal yesterday was very visually impressed with for Hamby Smith. Let's take a look at what we've got going on today. Of course, the rain's not here yet, Dave. We talked about it for Sunday, but nice skies out there today.
Yeah, fast track, really, really nice day this time of year. Rain's coming tomorrow, so I'm already working on the mud marks for tomorrow afternoon. But today, enjoy the weather here in Maryland fast.
And we're going to go ahead and do that, starting things off in our early pick 5, which begins in the Claiming 25 race for the girls 3 and up, which have never won 3. Dave, you go with the number 2, Ice Cube Baby for Charlie Frock, J. Ron Barbosa.
All right away, let's look at the picks. You got 3, 7, 5, 4. I have 2, 7, 1, 3. I'm not going to argue with anyone in this race. I think this is really to open the day. I think one of the toughest races on the card to handicap, but I went with Ice Cube Baby coming off a 7th place finish behind Mystic Seaport. And that race, the fraction's very hot early, 45 and 4, and a track that wasn't that super fast. November 17th at Laurel was only a couple of lengths off that hot fraction. I think she'll be closer today. She has the ability to close, but she could be a little closer than most of her races indicate on form. But I don't think any more than 4 lengths off the pace this afternoon, 3 or 4. So I'm going to use her coming out of a hot fraction race, gets Barbosa aboard, gets a good draw down to the inside in her best race. Would probably beat this bunch. The 7 in here is O'Shaughnessy. What do you do with this filly, right? She goes to Mahoning Valley, wins with a big number there, and Mahoning comes back, drops in for 25 this afternoon. The filly she beat came back to win via disqualification next start. Look at the short comment, full of run, going away indeed. Either maybe loves Mahoning, but doesn't mind Laurel either. A nice record in the money, 8 of 11 times here at Laurel Park. Couple of wins to boot. And Kevin Patterson, always used to think, well, okay, I'll get an extra check mark for Maryland Circuit, but he's getting kind of cold in the Maryland Circuit the last few years. So we'll see if that big win can go back to Maryland and translate. Number 1 is Sweet Heidelberg up top there with Jose Corrales. Interesting horse who could be a price as well. I got to respect the Corrales barn later this afternoon, the last race of the day. I have a nice hot stat on how hot that barn has been in the last 45 days. And number 3, Winky, 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 or is it Winky, Winky? How many Winkies do we have here? 2 Winkies.
Just 2.
That's your top pick off the claim, Diana Marisi. Lightly raced, right? Last year as a 3-year-old and comes back this year as a 4-year-old, claimed in August, laid up. A lot of gaps in the races there. Maybe you expect to go right to the front, I'm thinking, right?
That's what I see.
I think she will. But I don't think that Ice Cube Baby will be too far back today coming off the hot fraction race.
And as Dave Rodman goes 2-7-1-3 in race number 1, as mentioned, he's really looking forward to the early pick 4, and let's see exactly how. Step by step, if we could take a look. Thank you.
Should have had it. Should have had it yesterday.
Oh, gosh.
Should have had it yesterday.
What about that $44 winner yesterday?
The first leg, I let that get away, right? And I knew it was a spread race. Just spread one more little horse in there, right? Maybe somebody did and took the cue for, was it Magic Michael as the single in there and got a nice little payoff. But today, no singles, but I like the play here. 1-5 in the first leg, 1-3 in the second leg, and a little deeper in races 4 and 5, third and fourth. The 2-4-5 with 1-4-8, still a reasonable ticket, okay? So let's go with Practical Sense, who's going to be my top pick here as one of the horses on the ticket using the second choice in my selections too. In your top pick, I believe, Box and Ben. I think the race is really down to these two, Callie.
It is, I agree.
Yeah. So Box and Ben, I think, is going to go to the front. He's a speed danger in this spot. I think he's the speed of the speed in here. He's going to try to take them all the way. But Practical Sense ran such a big race last out here at Laurel. I know it was a while back in October, been off since, but you know they put him in for 25 this afternoon. Now winners at 2. They're coming back up the ladder with him. It was a step slow to beat. Was getting to General News in the late stages of the race with a nice rally. Gene Alvella, by the way, is on, I guess, William Humphrey off all of his mounts today. So Gene Alvella riding for Hugh McMahon on Practical Sense. So using the 1 and the 5 in the first leg there, I think kind of a 2-horse race. And throwing in Porch Swing, who's kind of the mystery here, right? And he's done well for Ham Smith, off since May, time away, in for the tag. I don't know what kind of move this is. Maybe Hammy needs some Christmas money, a little perks of the barn or something. There may be a claim or two in for him this afternoon. We'll see if anybody bites here. Hammy does well with the layoff, and he's got talent, Porch Swing, but I don't think he's fast early, as fast as Box and Ben. He's going to be in pursuit.
Mentioning in, you go back and let's take a look at Practical Sense for Hugh McMahon, as mentioned with Gina Vello from that effort back in October over here at Laurel.
Yeah, here he is, and said kind of a relentless close, just fell a neck short at the end. General News, the eventual winner, on the lead right now, opens up under a drive, but once Practical Sense swings to the outside there, has clear sailing home, kind of a grinding second place effort. That was 7 furlongs. It's 7 furlongs this afternoon. And again, that was 16 non-winners at 2, but they put him back in for 25 this afternoon here at Laurel for the McMahon Barn. A win yesterday, McMahon Barn 2. So Barn doing okay this week, hoping to make it another win.
1-5-4-2 for Dave Rodman in race number 2. Race number 3 is claiming at 12-5, going 7 furlongs on the dirt for the straight 2-year-old fillies. Scratching the 4, Bernie's Dreaming. You have the number 1, and let's take a look at Floge for Mario Saray Jr. and Georgie Hernandez now today.
Say it again.
You say it first.
Flug.
There we go.
I believe. The 1 horse today. This race, I went back and looked at it this morning, and probably really on the video spotlight should show you the backstretch run. I mean, he was relentless, kind of made a nice, steady riding. He rated early, then they asked him, and he sustained a nice bid from about the half-mile pole, or just above it, to the quarter pole. Then when asked to kick on, carried on willingly. Runner-up runs a big one there, no walk in the park. First off the claim into Mario Saray Jr.'s barn. Jorge Hernandez aboard. They pulled that big surprise yesterday in the second race. I think it's a timely claim here, coming back at 7 furlongs. I thought I had to use a lot of energy early in the race last time out. So that race probably a little bit better than the 30 buyer indicates. So Flug there, the top pick. And number 3, Made Birdie, is an interesting filly. And here she was well beaten 2 back by a filly named Shake It Baby, who came back to win, beat her again after Made Birdie had some trouble in the start. But that race 2 back with Shake It Baby won. That opening quarter, 22-4, was sharp. There were several 6 furlong races that afternoon, October 23rd at Parks, and 22-4 was the fastest opening quarter mile by a 1/5 or 2/5 of a second over any other even better company. So Made Birdie, I wouldn't be surprised to see the bird fly today as part of the early pace, maybe not as far back as the paper would indicate. Drops in the 12-5 for Claudio Gonzalez. They got the race between the 1 and the 3, and you've got the 2 on top in here. Neolithica coming off a maiden score, right, for Damon Dilladovico.
Of course, Damon Dilladovico, only 11%, but coming down, I think it's just a logical thing to come down from the maiden 20. Obviously, they had high aspirations for the horse, but you also have a pattern change from that last time out, which I think is a big indicator of success for the next time out, especially when finding friendlier foes in that effort. But let's see if Made Birdie can get some wings for your exacta as your race runs through the 1 and the 3. You finish up with the 5 and the 2 as we go on to race number 4. This is a claiming 5,000, going 3/4 of a mile on the dirt. Also starts the Rainbow Pick 6. I'm taking a look. I go 3 deep here in this claiming 5,000 because some of these races get pretty tough for the level single on Kerness in that claiming 25 in the 5th. Race number 6, I go 4 wide in a maiden claiming 12.5. We have a nice little stat on the 11 coming up for Tim Keefe. Race number 7, 2 deep, as well as 2 deep in race number 9 and race number 8. I go 3 deep for a $28.80 ticket. Now let's rewind and get down and dirty with the race that does begin, the Rainbow Pick 6 in race number 4 in that claiming 5,000 for the girls 3 and up, going 6 furlongs on the dirt. You have the number 4 Illusion of Hope for Charlie Frott, Carlos Lopez, 8-5 morning line.
Beaten claiming race. This is a big class relief for this filly dropping in for the nickel. Last time out faced Fool Yourself, who didn't fire so well yesterday for me here at Laurel in the opener, but Old Class Horse who dropped in for the 8 that day. Anonymously has been on a roll with the Corrales Barn. You see that horse in the running line, and the gray mare Tam Char. Yeah. So there you go. I think this is a big class relief this afternoon for Illusion of Hope. Going to go with that horse on top. Alas and alack. All right, this is the 3rd off the claim for Rudy Solomon. They put the blinkers on last time out. One race experiment didn't work. They come back off. Sometimes it takes Rudy a little time to figure him out. Dropping him in for a nickel this afternoon in a race 2 back that was won by Coach Rube, who's a 12-time lifetime winner in career. So again, more class relief this afternoon for both Alas and Alack and Illusion of Hope. And the 5 Sneaky Cheeky, kind of sneaky little horse here.
Yes.
Another horse who didn't fire well off the claim. Blinkers on last 2 times out, but comes out of the Matula True Blue Pearl race. True Blue Pearl came back to win yesterday afternoon. Maybe just the 4th time's the charm in the barn. I know her back races would certainly figure here. And the Mohen barn sometimes takes him a little bit to figure him out. And at 10-1, I'm not going to let this horse get by, at least underneath in the exactas.
Exactly. Sneaky Cheeky 4251. Dave, you also have the Bramble Brush Anything. We're getting to the dirt for not the first time. This one has had success on the dirt, but it's been a while. Yeah,
Bramble Brush. I mean, we talked to Michael Gorham, great meet at Delaware, but he's been a little slow to fire here at Laurel Park. Turf to dirt. We got a lot of that coming right this time of year, right? That's a tough call. Dirt races just don't do much for me, and hasn't fired to a win on the grass in a while either. So yeah, he's a danger. She's a danger if she runs back to her best race, especially her best race on the grass with a big 67 buyer June 3rd. But we're on the dirt today. I'd like to see it.
Race number 5 is a claiming at 25,000. Also starts the late pick 5 as well for the 1-turn mile on the dirt for the 3-year-olds, and plenty of scratches in this race that kind of shuffled my picks in the 1A, 2, 3, and 7. Dave, you go with the number 8 though. New York Panther in the Barn of Hume, now in the Barn of Hugh McMahon. Of course, Gina Vella takes the call today.
That's my pick, and I'm sticking to it.
I like
handicapping the race last night and this morning before scratches. There was a lot more speed in the race, right? Kenner, Manor House maybe, Running River for sure. I said, you know, maybe not as much speed for a better setup that I think, but I think off the claim this horse is going to be a little bit sharper, maybe not on the lead this afternoon, but a little sharper from the McMahon barn. Hugh McMahon race yesterday off the claim. Just in the last year at Laurel has been a positive ROI trainer, Callie. I don't know, maybe they're being more selective in what they claim, but first off the claim the last year at Laurel Park, he's 17% and a positive return on investment of $3.14. And to boot comes out of a turf race in which he was claimed where Star Shopping came back to win at Turfway Park on the synthetic the other night. So I really would like this horse quite a bit if some of the speed had stayed. Some of the speed is scratched. But at 1 mile, you know, that long run of the second wire, I think he can show a little bit more sharpness. He's been near and on the lead on the dirt before and on the turf, but I don't know if he's it may be as fast early as Kerness, the first quarter to 3/8 of a mile. So I think they're going to try to go with Kerness up front, so I'm using that horse in the mix. The 4 Grand Pick, also first off the claim for Pedro Nazario, comes off a big win and a decent number at Delaware. Can it translate? I think they like him. They claim him for 20. They don't drop him. Put him in for the 25. Number 6 is Victim of the Night, who's kind of a victim of his own undoing, right?
Yes.
Many times victim of the night. Off slow, breaks in the air. He's just kind of a trouble horse at the starting gate. But if he's on his best behavior this afternoon, he certainly figures for a share.
8146 for Dave in the 5th. We'll be right back after this commercial break for the rest of Saturday's card here, starting back in race number 6.
Thoroughbred racing is taking vital steps to make our sports safer. These include the use of independent veterinarians, strict anti-doping and medication controls, and a single national authority empowered to create uniform standards and enforce reforms. With each step, more data is gathered, accountability demanded, and progress made as safety takes the lead. Visit ntra.com/safety for more.
Welcome back, and as I mentioned, starting things off with the late pick 4 and the jackpot super high 5 in this maiden claiming 12-5, going 1 turn mile on the dirt for the 3, 4, and 5-year-olds. Scratching the 5 iced tea. You take the number 11, and let's go ahead and take a look at that special stat that you have on Tim Keefe.
Yeah, Tim Keefe here. This kind of swayed me to this horse just a bit. A good third last time out. Keefe, the last 3 years with this kind of layoff, 31 to 60 days with all maidens, is 20%. So a little bit of brief rest, freshen him up. Horse comes off a good race, out of which Oh Boy won. Court Contender, the runner-up, came back to win, running a 56 buyer number in next out. 13 for 66, 20%, and a nice, huge $3.49 positive return on investment. And going with the son of Munnings this afternoon. His last race is at a mile, so we know he doesn't mind that extended run. Got a little tired there, the late stages, coming off a 6 furlong and a 5 furlong sprint. Today, I think maybe he's going to fire his best shot here. Here comes Rusty. I said
Yes.
Ruby. Rusty, who's a half-brother, by the way, if you believe in this. Sometimes siblings win the same
Yes.
day.
Yes.
A half-brother to Kukulan,
Oh.
yesterday, the horse who won yesterday.
Okay,
Yeah.
very exciting.
For the same connections.
And a nice price, too.
Right, at a nice price, right?
Yeah. So we'll
And,
see.
and a horse that I failed to mention on the show that I should have mentioned, and I'm very upset about it.
Well,
Okay.
all you can do is move on to the next day, and that's why we're here. So you also go with Heart of Fire from Milan Milosevic. Gina Vello gets the call on this one. Tries the dirt for the first time here at 5-1.
Yeah, 6 Heart of Fire. This is, how many, what do we have? 4 or 5 horses coming turf to dirt in
Yes.
here, a mile. A sibling ran a upper 50 buyer number on the dirt, so I'll assume that he can run on the dirt a little bit, right? And that comes off of a 4th place finish where he was the old, as Clem Florio used to say, an 8th poler. Horse who made the lead there at the 8th pole, liked to bet those horses back. Very old school style handicapping. But that winner, Mosey, was a first-time starter who looks like he's okay. He came from way back of the pack in the turf to win at a mile and an 1/8. And look at the progression here with this horse. 5.5 furlongs, a mile on the turf, 8 furlongs, and then 9 furlongs. Now shortening back up on the dirt to a mile. He should be fit. I'm just hoping that he runs like his sibling did. If he can run a 58 buyer, okay, good night.
Okay, there we have it. You also have great call from Madison Myers. Yomar Ortiz might try and make a play for the lead today.
Yeah, he's been on the turf and on the dirt. He'll be playing, mixing it up on the front end. He was too much. Senator Kelly, that group, a little too fast sprinting for him last time out, but he's had some success stretching out to the mile and a 16th, so the mile shouldn't be any problem. And again, some dirt in the family there. His siblings ran big numbers on the grass as well, at least big enough to win against this group if he's anything like his brothers and sisters. Anaheim, I wanted to mention that horse.
You did.
That's your top pick.
Sure.
He's first time gelding today.
Yes, he
is it all or nothing here? I mean, I think it might be.
That's how I see it.
2 races back, like that video, go back. I mean, he was like very lethargic early. And then late in the game, the last 3/16 of a mile, it was hard to see on the video, but you know, he looked like a horse to run on a little bit in the late stages. So he's first time gelding, new horse, and a drop this afternoon. A dangerous runner in Anaheim.
11.691 for Dave Rodman there in race number 6. Let's go to race number 7, a starter allowance going 7 furlongs on the dirt for the 3-year-olds and up. Scratch in the number 6, Not Away, and you have the number 3, Charge to Victory. Let's go ahead and roll back here in the barn of David Howard, Jamie Rodriguez.
Yeah, we're going to show Top Boss, I think it is, right?
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
No, that's right. I'm glad you mentioned that because I originally had Top Boss kind of on top here, but it's your top pick, so let's show the video. It looks like he's going to be go to the front, right? 21-345 and 1 fraction, November 23rd here at Laurel Park. And this is the race we're watching right now. Top Boss in the pink silks. And look at who he's battling with every step of the way, the ultra sharp brother Conway. And he doesn't give up the fight, right? After the battle on the pace, he had every right just to falter in the final furlong. Nobody could make any headway late to grab him for second. Was it the rail that carried him on? But he angled out, looked like he was trying to come a little bit there late once he got off the inside. At 7 furlongs, it's going to be very, very effective speed. But I'm going to give Charge to Victory one more shot here because Jamie Rodriguez comes back to him. He's the horse that got the best run out of him early August at this distance against the starter allowance field, including the salty old-timer Annalise Houdini and Hagler. Pretty tough little group there. So coming back to 7 after the mile race with Rodriguez aboard, looking for his 12th lifetime score. The speed of Top Boss, the closing charge, a charge to victory, that might be the exacta in here. That's what I'm hoping.
You have a price underneath, though,
Yeah.
in 20-1 in Captain Cardo.
Yeah, well, he was good to me last time, so I had to throw him in. Remember, he was the best bet that day.
He was, that's right, you're
but
right.
But he had kind of a trip of trips there, good pace in front of him, saved ground inside, angled out, switched to the outside. Can he repeat that race? Can it be a repeat effort? I don't see maybe as much pace in this 7-horse field now with a scratch of 6 Not Away in here. But you got to like him. He's consistent. He's good right now, and it is Corrales. We'll talk about him again, as mentioned a little later. And I had to throw somebody in for 4th, maybe Velvet Ghost, thinking maybe he wants a little bit longer, but another Corrales runner.
3751 for Dave Rodman there in the 7th. Race number 8 is an allowance optional, claiming 62.5, going a mile and 16th on the dirt for the straight 2-year-old. Scratch in the 6, Notion of Love, the 10, Frankie's Empire. You have the number 8 on top in Regalo for Brittany Russell. Sheldon Russell, an impressive, nice 5.5 length win at 7 furlongs last time out.
This is a really, really good race
It
here.
is.
And what makes it more intriguing is it's a mile and the 16th. Not a mile, not 7 furlongs, not a 6 furlong sprint.
Yep.
A lot of talent in here. And I went with number 8, Regalo, and here Maximus Mischief. Not worried about the distance today, the mile and the 16th. His sire won the Remsen in his 3rd career start in kind of the same pattern as Regalo has on paper. 6 furlongs, 7 furlongs, stretching out to a mile and an 1/8.
Okay.
That's what his sire did. He had 2 sprints and then one going 9 furlongs in his 3rd career start. I've been impressed by his sprints. Can he get the distance is the question. A horse that I think will get the distance, and here is the plain one, War Master, who's undefeated. Ness snuck him in there for the 20,000. There were no takers. He won by 8, could have won by more, had trouble in the race. Very impressive run. Went out of town at Delaware as the favorite, showed that was no fluke, making it 2 for 2 in his career. And like the Brittany Russell horse yesterday that you picked on top, and I should have had rated a little higher. Looking at the dam, Sexy Reasons, Argentinian mare. This horse was a Group 1 winner at Uruguay.
Yes.
At a mile and a quarter,
Yes.
and won multiple races at a mile and a quarter. So you're asking, can he get the distance? Oh yeah, apparently from the pedigree.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yep, I see it the same way. Let's talk about Pandagate, the ship-in with Christophe Clement and Victor Carrasco. Let's roll
It's
back
your
to
top
that.
pick? Your
It
top
is my
pick here?
top. It is my top pick. So let's just have a quick discussion at this Belmont at the Big A meet. Of course, kind of just a lumbering soul.
Yeah.
This one coming from Dylan Davis, just kind of mastering this one. And these are the types of horses that can take wide trips, Dave. So I'm not really concerned. It makes it look even more impressive, but I think this one still has a ways to go as far as really kind of putting everything together. I think there's a lot of raw ability there. So the 2 turns is going to be a really interesting move for him today.
Yeah, I like that. That's exactly what he is, right? He's a lumbering kind of sort. You could see on the turn he's
Yes.
trying, but he doesn't have a quick turn of foot, does he?
No.
He just kind of like sat off that pace and then came wide, nobody in his way. But in the end, he kicked it in, and he had a strong gallop out as well, so he should be okay. Arrogate, his sire, who's hotter right at dirt routes right now? 21% dirt route winners for Arrogate. So this is a really, really strong race here. 8-1-4 and
7, Dance for Green.
I don't know. Yeah, I thought ran big with the blinkers on behind Catahoula Moon. Underneath, we'll see.
Okay, I mean, we have a first off the layoff for Jerry, Robb, and Crispin and Robb, when they team up together, rode a lot for him at Delaware. So the jockey-trainer combination is at 33% together. So if they get that same pattern in that win, I could definitely see that.
Okay.
Let's go to the finale, though. In race number 9, in this claiming 16,000 for the 3-year-olds and up, which have never won. 2 for the girls, going a mile and 16th on the dirt. No scratches here. You and I both go with Gilda's Girl for Tim Keefe, with Forrest Boyce on today.
Yeah, same pick here. And you look at her last race, and on paper it looked like she chased a nice winner there. Then come morning, the number was good. Then when you go back and look at it, she really, really ran well. I mean, she broke sharp. And then the winner, then come morning, kind of rushed up and raced through between horses down the backstretch to assert her speed, and then won as a lengthy winner there by 3 and change. But Gilda's Girl never really gave up the fight. She made another bid late in the race, and then come morning kind of turned her back. And even after that, toward the wire, Forrest Boyce kind of angled her in, and she was still trying. So anyway, she can repeat that race, and I think she's the one to down. We've got some video, though, of Always Forward, who's 20-1 morning line, and the Hot Corrales barn. Again, he's got 2 in here. He's got the 1, Destined to Dance, and the 3, Always Forward. I'll take a look at him first down the backstretch. He kind of broke sharp and okay, then kind of got lost in the shuffle in the second flight mix down the backstretch. It was shuffled away inside. There he is, the green sleeves. You can see he's right up there, 1, 2, 3. And then the speed went on, and a few other horses kind of beat him to the punch, including the 2 there on the rail. And so he settled in nicely. But once that was over and he had a little bit of trouble, kept on going willingly at 87-1. Finished 3rd here. And not stopping. He's still trying.
Bless him.
Yeah, so there you go. 87-1, so maybe you can repeat that. Corrales, hot, right? Last 45 days, 22%, 8 of 37. That stat may be like 1 or 2 ticks off. I did that a couple of days ago.
Sure.
But bottom line is $2.26 positive ROI, and a horse she ran big at 87-1 last time out, maybe kind of getting it together. Jorge Hernandez aboard this afternoon and rode at that 3rd place finish. Also has a win on her out of town at Charlestown. So rider gets along with this filly.
5-3-2-7 for Dave Rodman there. Let's dive in now a little bit deeper into these picks. Let's start with your best bet in race number 3 with Floge for Mario Saray Jr., Georgie Hernandez.
I think a timely claim, used up a lot of energy down the backstretch and on the turn moving. And, horses at that level probably don't sustain, but this horse did sustain and go on to win. Plucked out of that race with a claiming tag and now comes back. So Saray good off the claim. So let's try Floge.
And you go with your value play a couple of races later in race number 5 with New York Panther for Hugh McMahon. Gina Vello, first off the claim at 6-1.
Yeah, first off the claim from McMahon's been really hot the last year. Got a win yesterday. I wish there were a little more speed in the race, Collie, but I'm going to stick to this one because I think the horse will still be a little bit of price against a Nest runner in there. New York Panther in today's 5th.
And we will take just a quick break as I get offset, give Dave a little bit of room to give you some more updates on potential changes and scratches here later today.
Good luck.